Hey everybody, my name is Andrew Murray, and I recently joined a gym, and it sounds weird, but so there's a lot of guys, a lot of people, and they're very competitive. Like all the guys are wearing their really tight shirts showing their pecs and their abs and stuff, which makes you kind of a little bit uncomfortable. But immediately, while you're in a gym environment, it's very competitive. Immediately you start comparing yourself, and I kind of ask myself the question, how do I define success? And it's a weird place to ask yourself that inside a gym, but like, how do I evaluate if I'm successful or not? And it doesn't matter in what realm you are, if it's like in finances, if it's in your family, workplace, social scene, gym, or even in church. Like, you have to kind of have a standard of how you define success and how you kind of analyze it. The issue that I kind of realize is that we've developed and we've accepted not the right definition of what success is. You see, we fall into this trap where, like me inside the gym, I start comparing myself to other people. It's exactly the same thing the way that we define success on other grounds as well. We compare ourselves to other people, making the input that we receive from the outside to analyze if we're successful or not. And that is a massive trap, because if you constantly compare yourself, you're always going to fall short and you're never going to be good enough. So I started asking myself, how would God define if I'm successful or not? How must I live my life so that one day when I end up in heaven and He asks, what did you do with your life? I want Him to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. So how do I kind of cultivate a culture and a mindset where God would end up saying, well done, Andrew, you were a good and faithful servant? And it's a difficult question to ask, because, I mean, honestly, we live in a social media age where it's constantly comparison. You just go on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and immediately it's the highlight reel, it's the best things. And people only post the best things. I mean, they don't post their struggles, their failures, the times that they fight it, their depression, their late night crying into their pillows. No, man, it's only the highlight reels. And when you see those stuff and you put it on, you compare that with like the worst part of your life, and you're like, oh my word, I'm a failure, I'm not successful. Just look at how amazing this guy's life is and how mundane and awful my life is. But to be honest, we're actually all living the same kind of life, because nobody's going to post the bad things. The way that we should define success as Christians, the way that our mind should change, is not how am I comparing to other people around me, but more, were I faithful? Was I faithful and obedient to what God has called me to do? It's as simple as that. It's an easy sentence. And then you're not comparing yourself to other thing. And it might be that God calls you to something great, to be a worship leader, to be a pastor, to be a sermon, to give a sermon, whatever it may be. But it also can just be you mowing the lawn, you being a good father, you being faithful at work or caring for the people around you. And if you're faithful, if God has called you to do that, then you are a good and faithful servant. And it's a simple thing, actually. The problem just that we're struggling with is not, are we faithful and obedient? We want to be significant. And to be significant, we're constantly living in comparison. Like, how is my activity owning up to the people around me? Am I living a good enough life so that my CV looks good? Am I owning a big enough salary? Am I having the biggest crowd? Do I have a lot of followers? Am I popular? All those type of things we use to define ourselves and to say, are we successful or not? Where it's actually as simple and easy to say as, are you faithful and obedient to what God has called you to be? Hey guys, thanks for watching Moonlit Sermons. It's been awesome chatting with you guys. If you've got any comments, ideas, share it in the comments below. It would be awesome to start a discussion, just chat about it. If you feel that there's anybody specific that needs to hear this message, send it along. It would be awesome to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching.